In this training, we're going to walk you through how to make 5 high ticket sales this week with our 15-minute funnel. And the best part of this is you're not going to need any additional ads or any new content. And we're going to show you how to walk yourself through this in just 15 minutes. So the thing we know about you is that you are doing really well. And I know you have high standards for yourself and your business if you're here and you want to be like 5 times further down the line. But the good news is you're getting sales, and we know that you get amazing results for your clients, that you are like the one who really knows what they're talking about. You've been doing this a while. Your clients stay with you and they are obsessed and love you. Yet we also know that there's more, and you could be further along. So we want to say this is like, you are the exact person we love working with because of how good you are at what you do. And we also know that it can be extremely frustrating that what used to work and what used to get really, really great results no longer works. So let's just put it out there that this is common, and this is why people come to us and work with us. So if you know that you are like all in on fixing this and getting 5 times further along the road, and you want to condense that timeline and do it a lot faster, then apply to work with us and we will see if you're a good fit, because we are doing something really new and fun where we actually help you set up your demand funnels in one day. So if you want to see if you qualify for this, fill out the application. So now, talking about that frustration, there are people out there who get their audience to like jump in so quickly. And I know it can be a huge source of frustration where you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, I know I'm the best at what I do. I know I've been doing this a while. I know I get great people, great results. Yet, how do they do it? What is the difference between them and you? And if you already know you're so good at what you do, what really is the difference between them and you? Because we know it's not about the skills, and we know it's not about the results. The real problem is it has nothing to do with your offer. Again, we know you get really great results, but the truth is you're stuck because your system wasn't built for today's buying behavior. It was built for the past, and it's time for things to be improved upon, and it's time for things to be up leveled.
Yeah, and I mean, so much of it comes down to is like, what are you doing right now to get buyers? And how are we giving them the demand activators to show them that the time to act is now, whether that's with a low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, whatever your offer is. And when we can put that messaging in all of your content throughout the whole funnel, it is going to activate your people and get them to take more action faster.
And, this probably is a good time to introduce ourselves for people who are just finding us. I'm Nicole, and this is my husband and business partner, Dan. And we have been doing this since 2011. We literally ran Facebook ads since the second you could run Facebook ads. And we started in the food and health industry. And we have been building our business for the past 14 years while we have 3 kids at home. And we have worked with hundreds and hundreds of experts just like you to help them set up their funnels so they can not only scale up their sales, but they can scale the impact they've made. The reason why we're making this video and this training here is because we have been running our Evergreen Funnel program for the past since 2021. And we have seen the changes, and we have seen the difference, and we have seen what it takes, not only for us, where we have a multi-7-figure business, but we've seen what it takes for our clients who are multi-6, multi-7-figure business owners, for them to continue to scale their sales up without having to work 40, 50 hours a week. So we're basically breaking down 14 years of being in business to show you what it takes to actually make the money you want to make in this year. We're not teaching you tactics and strategies that worked in 2018, 2019, 2020, because we have been on literally the ground floor of hundreds of businesses to say, okay, based on where you are right now, this is your custom strategy. So we're giving you the overview, but the most important thing we want you to know is that this has nothing to do with the past and everything to do with 2025 buying behavior. If your funnel was built in the past, it probably wasn't built for buyers who are buying now. And if you're experiencing slower DMs than usual, if you're experiencing low return on your ads, if you're experiencing lower conversions than you're used to, then that's a sign that your funnels aren't built for buyers who buy right now.
And one thing I will say is that when in our business, and especially with our ads agency, we notice a huge difference in like 2018, 19, 2020. Everything changed. And what we've noticed in 2023 and 2024 is that change has just accelerated. And so many people are still focusing on strategy and using strategies that were developed in 2015, and they are nowhere close to working like they used to. So what we're going to be really talking about today is how to leverage demand, how to create overwhelming demand so that the strategies that you do implement actually work.
And if you've ever, whether you're brand new to us or you've watched our trainings before, then you know we are continually working on updating and improving and saying, this is what's working right now and not focusing on the past. Like I said, if you have slower than usual DMs, if your conversion rate has gone down, if your return on your ads is not where it used to be, then chances are you have a leaky demand system. And we value speed. Speed is number one in our business. And if you don't fix this, it is costing you money and it's costing you impact every single day that you do not fix this. And that's why we make these trainings, because we want to say, like, here's what's working right now. And if you are ready to fix this and you're ready to fix this fast, then come in and work with us for one day. And we will literally show you and help you map out exactly what you need to do to build overwhelming demand and to basically update your funnels for 2025. So why are funnels failing? Most people are trying to put like band-aids on their funnel and just do like little new things to update their funnels, update their launches. And that's what it is. It's band-aids. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you don't know until a period of time whether it's worked or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just kind of carrying that metaphor of band-aids too is like it's a temporary fix. It's not something that's going to be permanent. It's not going to change the way that people are viewing you. And it's also not a long-term fix. It's not something that's going to build and get better over time. It's a temporary fix that is going to wear off. And so we really need to focus on the demand, which is going to fix the main problem, the real problem.
So how do you build something so good that people want it and they want it fast? Now, we know you've already built something that's so good, right? And we know this because you get results and you are getting sales. It's just not where you want it to be. And how do you get it to where you want it to be? And you have people that are coming in and they're coming in at the speed you want them to come in at. And the answer to that is demand. Without demand, your strategy is just something that's operating in the background. It's like white noise. No two businesses have the same demand. And that's also why I don't know anyone else who is talking about this, but that's the difference. That's why two businesses can deploy the same strategy and one can have a wildly successful launch and the other, it's like crickets the entire time. And that's why coming in and just copying tactics doesn't work. So everyone thinks the right funnel is going to make them like, oh my gosh, I can sit on the beach and just print money. And the truth is, what we have found is our clients don't even really, they want to sit on the beach for like a week and then they want to go back to work because we love what we do. But the truth is, that's not going to be the thing. The only thing that makes your strategy work is demand. Without it, even the perfect, and I say perfect with air quotes, because what does that even mean? Underperforms. And that's why you can see the people who have mile-long sales pages, and then you have a business like us who barely has sales pages or operates under Google Docs. It's because of demand.
And I just want to check for a second on underperforms, because So I feel like the sweet spot for our perfect client is that client who is doing okay, but it's their funnel is underperforming. So underperforming to us is making anything less than 4 times return on ad spend. So whatever you're investing in Facebook ads, you really need, and I say need because you need to have profit, you need to pay your team, you need to pay for the ads. You really need at least a 4 times return on ad spend. So that is a really good metric to determine if you are leveraging demand and if your funnel is performing well. If it's performing less than 4 times return on ad spend, you are definitely leaving money on the table, and you can keep switching strategies, but the strategy isn't going to be the thing that gets you from a 2 times return on ad spend to a 5 times return on ad spend. It's leveraging that demand and learning how to build.
So, two most important questions if you want daily sales and exponential growth. Number one, can you build demand? Do you know what to do right now to build demand for what you do? And then, can you use demand to actually be able to help more people and make more sales easier? That is the goal of what we want to do. We want to be able to turn on a funnel, to turn on a campaign and say, okay, just let the sales come in without me having to carry everything. As the founder and the CEO, it's really easy to feel that pressure of just like, I have to do everything myself. I'm responsible for everything, and I'm the only one that can get this done. And let me give you hope that there is light here, that it can be so much easier and you can make the sales you want without feeling that really heavy pressure. So if the answer to any of those is I think so, but I'm really not sure, then this is the gap that's slowing you down.
Now, this is where like the nomenclature I think is important of the funnel, whatever funnel you're is, whether it's to an opt-in, to a launch, to a webinar, whatever the thing is, it's just leveraging your demand. And what I see when funnels are underperforming, it's because you do not know how to build the demand to allow your funnel to leverage it in the right way. And so when we talk about funnels, this is why when Nicole and I work with our clients, we're not prescribing specific funnels to every single person. We're really looking to build the demand and then asking them, how do you want to leverage that demand? Do you want to sell a low ticket product? Do you want to do sales calls? Do you want to do trainings? Do you want to have it recorded on demand? Whatever the thing is. So a funnel, keep in mind, it's really just a way to leverage the demand you've already built. So if your funnel is underperforming, it's not because the funnel is broken or the funnel is bad. It's just that your funnel is not leveraging that demand. And if it is working well, it means, okay, you know how to build up demand, and that funnel is perfectly tied in to leverage that demand to get you sales.
And that's also why if you think about like the iPhone or a Chanel bag or anything that's like super limited edition, it doesn't really matter how they sell it. They could literally sell it with one Instagram slide or one email or just a call to one person. If you think about like an Hermes bag that's super limited edition, they literally have a wait list for this bag. They don't have to go on the internet and advertise for these bags because they literally have a wait list. The funnel is only proving how much your demand is. And that's why someone can come in and sell from one Instagram story and make a ton of sales while someone else is doing this like 5-day experience where you got to show up live every single day and then getting to the end of it and being like, I'm exhausted and I didn't make the sales that I want to make.
I also think that's the difference between like a low 6-figure business owner and a high 6 or 7-figure business owner is when you're at the low sixes, you have so much pent up demand that you can just kind of sell and you can get those consistent sales. But when you want to scale that and get to the high 6s and 7 figures, you need to learn how to build demand, especially with a colder audience, because so much of demand is built is just slowly by nurturing. And that's fine when you're just trying to get to 6 figures. But when you're trying to double or triple or 5 times that, you need to learn how to build demand. Now, how we build demand is we actually activate it. So most of you are only attracting those nurture buyers, which I just mentioned. And that's why the sales feel slow, because it does require a lot of effort. These people do need a lot of time. So these are the people who have followed you for 2 years and then you put out an offer and they buy. And that's fine and that's good, but it's not scalable. And so that's why we really need to start activating more demand and building it up.
And just a little background to this is we started studying this around 2021 when we started to look at the people who were coming in, who were buying. And for us in 2018, 2019, when we were doing this, we were doing launches and we were doing launches 2 to 3 times a year. And what we realized was, oh my gosh, people need 3 to 4 launches before they would buy for us. And that's what we started studying is like, okay, well, what would happen if we flip this and we started building our funnels backwards and started saying, how can we actually get someone to make a buying decision way, way faster? And this is what we realized was that we had these fast buyers in our audience, but when we were doing these launches, we were really only talking to people who wanted to take 9, 10, 12 months to buy. So we flipped our funnel on its head, essentially, and started building them backwards and really started to gear towards those fast buyers who really were looking to move very quickly. So what you'll see here is 2025, there are different types of buyers 100%, but what we're showing you is when you can build demand, you can get those fast buyers to come in quickly and to have the sales coming in way faster. And then you're still obviously going to have the other 2 types of buyers, but when you're gearing yourself towards the fast buyers, that's when you're going to see your sales go up.
Yeah. And the binge buyers and the nurture buyers, most people have systems set up to get them to slowly go through their process and eventually buy. So if we introduce a fast buying funnel, we can even speed up the process to get those nurture buyers and binge buyers to even buy faster. And so that's really what we want to create is an instant demand system. This is the foundational piece of everything that we do. It's rich niche messaging. And this is so, so important. And it's the idea that most people are talking to a person who is actually struggling and is not even sure if they want to make a change. And we've been taught that our marketing and our messaging has to be so good that we have to convince that person to make a change. That is a really heavy lift. And then it also doesn't even get us the best clients. When where we really need to go to is we need to find and attract and speak to that person who values our offer, values the results that we're giving so much more than we could even imagine. And so I always give this example. It's like scuba diving. Like I love swimming in the ocean, but I don't really scuba dive. So you may think I'm the right person to sell scuba diving equipment to, but I'm not. And so if you came to me and gave me this incredible offer, I would just say no. It's not because your offer is bad or your messaging is bad. It's just that you're talking to the wrong person. You're talking to me when you should be talking to someone else. And so that's what so many people are doing with their funnels is they're sending traffic or they're getting traffic and sending that traffic through these funnels, but the traffic isn't even right. And so they're targeting the wrong person. So of course the funnel is going to underperform at best is because you're not talking to that exact right person.
And the thing is with this, like our clients who focus on rich niche messaging, they are the ones who will skyrocket, who come in quickly, who make sales right away. And it's like, this is like life-changing, truly, for your business.
And we're going to get into this, but this is also how the up levels continue to go is just continuing to challenge ourselves to speak to that rich niche. The second piece of this is demand-driven positioning. Now, so many of us are basically in that convincing mode, in that begging mode of like, what about a discount? What about this? And what we really want to do is align our pricing with our audience and align it to that demand so that they come in and say, oh my gosh, this is the perfect price for me. Now, when I say perfect price, it doesn't mean it's $20. It could be $20,000. But the point is the price is part of the messaging. And it actually builds demand when you have the perfect price for your perfect person. It doesn't take away from it. So this pricing piece is so important because if you were walking around selling a Lamborghini for $10, people would just look at you a little crazy and be like, something can't be right with this. So the pricing really does matter. It doesn't mean underpricing, it doesn't mean overpricing. It means understanding how your best person values the result that you're giving them or you will give them, and then putting a price that is less than what they value as.
Now, if you think about the positioning really is how you want to be perceived. And it's really the difference between Walmart and Chanel. And there's nothing wrong with either one of the brands, either one of the companies. There's nothing wrong with Walmart and there's nothing wrong with Chanel. But when you walk in, you're going to have two extremely different experiences. Now, one can be in the pick me energy. And that is one of the first things that we want to lose. I don't want anyone who is working with us, who is a huge, big hearted, service driven CEO that wants to make a big change, to be in pick me energy. We don't want to feel like, oh, pick me, buy from me, pick me. That more is like walking into a Walmart. When you're walking into a Walmart, you're bombarded. There are sales everywhere. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to put my attention because so many things are just trying to like jump out at me and be picked. When you walk into Chanel, think about if you've never been in a Chanel or any store like that, then it's just a very different energy where they know they don't actually have to beg you or convince you to buy anything. They are very like lean back and let me just see, like, if you need to be helped, I'll be there to help you. They'll put their hand out and say, hey, if you need something, I'm here for you. But they're not going to walk around and say, what about this? What about this? What about this? They're going to wait for you to come to them and for you to say, oh my goodness, is this available? And you know what they're going to say? They might say,
No.
no,
That's what I was thinking.
actually, it's not. So it's not, again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about being good or bad. It's just how do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be more in the pick me energy, or do you want to be more in the category of Chanel where you have built so much demand that you're not afraid to say, hey, no, I don't have this for you. And then what does that make you do? It makes you want something even more.
Yeah. And I mean, the other piece of this is what you mentioned is the quantity, is that at the end of the day, we do have limited quantities available of our time. And so, depending on how you price it, how you give it away, it's extremely important. But we want our buyers to understand that this is a fast action thing, a fast action offer, because there's limited qualities, there's limited time, or there's even limited time for them. Is like, how much longer are you going to continue living with that problem? Let's get it fixed now.
And it's the same thing we're saying to you here. The faster you can fix your demand problem, the faster you will get to where you want to go. And we know that there are categories of people who are like, I'll just put this off, I'll just put this off, I'll just put this off. But that's not you, because you realize how big of a problem this is for you and how it's literally costing you money every single day to not build a business that has so much overwhelming demand that sales become easier and a whole lot less pressure for you.
So without these two things, you're selling into quicksand. And this is a pretty depressing slide, but this is hopefully the bottom of the barrel. What we see is those people who are not speaking to their rich niche and do not use demand-driven positioning. Every time they do something, it gets worse. So it literally is like, I've never been in quicksand, but what I hear is the harder you work, the further you sink. And so if you get more leads to a funnel that isn't speaking to your rich niche and isn't positioned well, it's going to make it worse. If you work harder, you're going to be working harder, selling things that don't have demand, that isn't targeting your right rich niche, and it's going to make it worse. And this is the thing that I see so often, is that when I kind of come across people and I'm like, hey, there's a decision here. You kind of need to step into this and make some changes with your positioning and your messaging and your people, or not. And when they say no, that's what I see happens. And so now I wanted to talk through like how we actually build this overwhelming demand and actually break it down piece by piece. So yeah, let's just switch. So in this kind of framework that I want to walk you through, I actually want to walk you through how we build overwhelming demand. And why we say overwhelming is, I love it when I speak to a client or even in our own business, you feel that momentum building and it really just kind of takes your business. And that's kind of where I feel like people are in the flow, is they're like, I'm overwhelmed by demand right now, but it's in a good way. It's like the water rushing over you. And so we're going to walk through the 3 steps that we do to help our clients and ourselves, even with ourselves, build up overwhelming demand.
And the other thing about when you have this, it's that feeling that everything is working. Now, that I like will always be very transparent with you and say that doesn't mean your business isn't going to have problems, because once you have overwhelming demand, there's going to be other things to fix. There's going to be other things. There's always problems in business at every single level. So I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, you have overwhelming demand and everything is rainbows and unicorns. But what I'm saying is you will feel like it's working. And as a CEO, there is no worse feeling where you are like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all of these tasks, I'm putting in all of these hours, and yeah, things are going well. And I know that they should be so much better. So when you can build overwhelming demand, you're going to get that feeling and that aspect of just like, it's when you can like take a breath and be like, okay, things are cranking, sales are coming in. I know exactly what to focus on to move along. And that is the key here.
Yeah. So obviously, or maybe not obviously, but the first thing that starts to show that we have overwhelming demand is when we have leads lining up. We have people lining up to work with us that say, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's talk about it. What you're saying is really interesting. And when we work with our clients to build this, to work, to focus on these three different things to actually build leads lining up, is the first step is focusing on your rich niche.
And here's the thing, leads lining up. If right now, you have people coming in and you're like, they're not my exact right fit. And yes, I can help them, but like, they're not the person I'm most excited for. That's how you know you need this step.
Yeah.
You need leads, because not only do we want leads lining up, we want premium leads lining up. We want the right people where it's like, these are the dream clients. These are the people who are saying yes. These are the people who are taking action. So it's about premium leads lining up, not the people that you're like, about.
Yeah. And you don't do this just by posting more. You really need to find that specific person, that specific right person for you, and make them feel like you are in their head, like you know more about them than they know about themselves. Now, we go into all of this inside Elevate and when we're with our clients, but the 2-second version is you really have to analyze your best clients and start to understand what were the qualities they had before they started working with me. Those qualities become qualifications. So if your people need to have some specific qualities to get the best results with you, your messaging should start calling that out. And the second thing is we really need to understand their desires, because those desires become demand. And the next thing we need to work on is we need to figure out their demand activators. And when we talk about desire, is what is it that they want? That creates desire and demand. But the other piece of demand is we need to have trust. And the way they trust us, or the way they begin to trust us, is we start to understand their language. We start to understand the words they are using, and we use that on our messaging. And that's how we start to activate demand, is we start talking about their desires with their own language. Their ears are going to perk up. So now when we combine speaking to the right person, using the qualifications, adding in desire and adding in their language, this is beginning to get our premium leads to perk up and line up and say, whoa, I've got to talk to that person, or I have to hear more about what they're saying. Now, the last step of this, and I think this is one of the areas that completely sets us apart than most other people, is on the lead side. When we are talking about your messaging and your positioning, we still want to be talking about sales. And we want to be getting sales every single day. Now, this is not just a pipe dream. This is a requirement. And the reason is because when you do this the right way at your level, you should have people coming in every single day. When your positioning is right, when your messaging is right, when your funnels are right, when that is all in alignment, you will have leads lining up to buy from you every single day. Now, once we have this set up, the next thing that we do is we need to kind of figure out how to sell, but we want it to be effortless. We want effortless selling. And that's the second area that we focus on with our clients. And obviously, when we do this, we focus on 3 things. And the first that we want to build is the pre-sold effect. It is so much fun having conversations with people who are pre-sold, whether those conversations are on trainings, on sales calls, in DMs. When you can use your positioning in your marketing to build up demand so that people are actually pre-sold to whatever you are going to sell them, and they're just showing up to hear, hey, how is it that we work together? Or, hey, I've got a few questions on how it applies to me. Or, hey, I just need to learn the system and I'm in. This pre-sold effect is so important. And so much of the time people are coming to us and saying, hey, I'm bad at sales, or I'm bad at webinars, or I'm bad at sales pages. And when we look at it, it's like, actually, no, all that stuff doesn't matter. You're just bringing people who are not pre-sold, and you're asking too much out of your sales page. You're asking too much out of your webinar. So this pre-sold effect is extremely important because they are going to show up already trusting you, already viewing you as the expert, and already viewing that you have the solution for them. And they just need to hear the presentation, hear the payment plan, or hear the payment structure, and they're in. The next thing that we want to do is, which we mentioned earlier, is make sure that we have demand-driven positioning. And what this is making sure that your offer, your pricing, your deliverables, even the length of time of your offer is positioned perfectly for your perfect person. Now, one of the things that, like, one of the kind of false truths or things that people believe that I don't believe are true is everyone thinks that memberships are so easy to sell because they're low ticket. That's actually one of the harder things to sell because it seems like forever and it doesn't have a price point that's structured along with a result and a timeline. So when we have the perfect positioning, we have the price will be less than the value. So obviously value is important. We know how long we're going to work with them because we know how long it should take them to get that result. We also know who this is perfect for. So we know how they want to work with us. Is it one-to-one? Is it group? Is it Voxer? Is it completely on demand? Whatever the structure is, it has to align with your positioning. And so if you have a person who wants to buy a $10,000 offer and you give them a $10 membership, they are going to say no. Conversely, if you have your positioning for a $10 offer, but you have a $10,000 offer, they're going to say no. So it has to be in alignment. And so it all builds. And so you can't just say, hey, no one's buying my thing, my offer sucks. No, it's the whole system that is not working when people say no to your offer.
Yeah. And it really is the positioning. Like, think about, again, how you want to be perceived. It really is important that you think about this. We know that our clients want to pay for speed, and they will pay to get it done faster because they really understand that time is money. And the faster they can make a change, the faster they will see a return. So when we know that, we think about, okay, how can we actually help our clients get things done faster and install this faster so they can elevate themselves and have those sales coming in versus really making it really, really drawn out. So you have to think about if your person will pay for speed, if your person really wants luxury. If you walked into a Tiffany's and they were selling a $5 necklace, you would be confused. You would be like, what is going on here? So you have to really think about the positioning and the pricing and how you want to be perceived and how your people want to perceive what they are paying for too.
And this is where it really gets fun because this next thing that we're going to talk about, we call it the instant demand matrix. Now, we talked earlier that there's different buyers. There's fast buyers, binge buyers, nurture buyers. What we want to do is we want to actually build these instant demand funnels that are a matrix, that are actually funneling people back and forth. And it's actually an ecosystem more than a funnel. And that's why we kind of came up with the word matrix, because it's this web of content, of offers, of connections that your people go through based on their engagement to drive up sales. So the fast buyers, they will have the fast direct funnel right to your main offer. The binge buyer will have that offer that gives them the secret podcast or the training or the access right away so they can binge and then have another offer after that. The nurture buyer, they are also going to be there allowed to see the content, but we're not going to waste our sales time on them. We are going to leverage our funnels to really drive up those demand activators. And then when they raise their hand or they reach out, then we will start the sales process with them. And this is all automated so that you're not the one who has to go in and figure out, oh, did this person person do that or that person do this. It's all happening in the background. And then you can obviously decide if you want to add a manual layer on top of that with yourself or your sales team to really find those people who are raising their hand and help them move along faster or jump in and get that sale. Now, leveraging this is really where this last piece of it, when we can get you more leads and they are more qualified and we're speaking to that rich niche and they're lining up and we're getting sales every day. And then we turn on the effortless selling machine and we start getting that instant demand matrix set up so that our positioning is right and they come in pre-sold. We're getting sales. And so this is really where we have to shift into positioning you and moving you into that elevated CEO role. So we, at the bottom of this funnel, this is where we really work on being chill and rich.
And I mean, it's funny, it's cheeky.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah. But rich to us, like, yes, it means the money. It also means rich in time, rich in possibilities, rich in opportunities. It's so much more than just the money. For us, being rich means that I can, on 2/15 on a Wednesday, I can go into my daughter's spring party at school because I can, and I can say yes to things like that. Being rich means I can do carpool to gymnastics or to basketball or to volleyball. Those are the things that mean rich to us. So it is about that yes, you have the money coming in, you have the profit coming in, and you have freedom to live the life you want to live based on your values. And the chill piece of it, there's nothing worse than as the CEO or the founder feeling like you are the only one that can do the things that matters. It puts a lot of pressure on yourself as a leader also. So when you get to this place of the fact that you can just be chiller and you can know that your things are working, that the sales are coming in, and that you have people and systems and funnels to support you, so you can take a deep breath and take the pressure off.
And I think it's really important that this is where things start to get fun. It's built on the foundation of the lead system and the sales system. And so when we have that running, we have a business that starts to have new problems. And so we have to really start focusing on those different problems. And so the problems that we're going to talk about now, a lot of early business owners think they have these problems, but they don't. They actually still have a leads problem and a sales problem. If you are at this point in this video, most likely you don't have a leads or a sales problem. You have a demand problem. And when we fix that demand problem, we can very quickly get those rich niche leads coming in and buying quickly. And then we can start focusing on this bigger picture, which is what we're going to talk about down here. And this is really from shifting from demand to a brand. One of the scariest sentences I hear in business is, I'm just going to work on my brand. Most people don't know what that means, and most people shift into building a website or working on their brand colors or something like that, which in most businesses, it does not matter. You just need to focus on speaking to that right person and getting them to say yes to your offer. However, once you consistently do that and you learn how to build demand and you can sense that demand is overwhelming, brand is the long-term application of demand. And so when you are consistently creating and delivering on demand, that naturally builds a brand so that every month, every year, your business actually gets easier to run. It also allows you as the CEO to step out of some positions that you used to hold. And so that second piece is we really need to look at what can we automate and what can we delegate.
This is where you get a promotion because chances are you're still doing a lot of things and it's okay, but it takes you out of that CEO zone, which is really going to be your zone of genius that's making you money. And when you can automate and delegate, that's when you say, okay, I get a promotion, I get a raise. It's time for me to move up to really be in the CEO zone.
Yeah. And so many times people say, hey, I used to do this thing and then I delegated it to a team member and it's not working as well. It could be how you manage that team member, but a lot of times it just has to do with that demand. You haven't built up enough demand that people will react the same to someone else than you. Same thing with automations. It's like, hey, I do this live training. It works really well, but I can't automate it. I can't make it recorded. Okay, well, it's probably a demand problem, but when we fix that demand problem, then we can automate it. So you can stop doing those live trainings. So this is how it all ties together. And obviously the goal when we shift from building a demand to building brand, when we start to automate and delegate, you do get promoted. You step into what we call the elevated CEO role. And this is when you truly step into being that visionary where you are setting the course for higher and higher growth, for bigger and bigger impact with your business. You're also shifting into maybe not managing so much of the day to day, but managing more of your team, managing more of the overall feel of things, and always making sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you can have that creative outlet to figure out what are the new opportunities, how are we going to creatively solve these problems, and things like that.
And when you can install what Dan just walked you through, so you get overwhelming demand, this is what happens. This is literally just from this past week. You can see the results. This sold 102 emails, and there was an update on this. I think it was like 290 in three days. 9 new clients, half being one-to-one work, 50 people in a program. You can see gross volume, $13,000, 2 sales this week at a new price point. This is what's possible for you. And this is just a tiny, tiny snapshot.
And this is all solved when you fill the demand gap, when you stop kind of short-sighting your demand and really focusing on how to activate it and leverage it. So it's time to change the way people buy with you. And this is what we do inside Elevate. We don't just build funnels, we engineer demand. And we are working to activate that demand, find that perfect person who is going to value your offer and is going to be demanding it, and then learning how to apply a strategy to that to get them into your world.
But it's time, like, I want you to really read this. It's time to change the way that people buy with you. Now, here's the thing. We have taken what we do inside Elevate and we have come up with a fast track to this. And what we're going to work on is how to build overwhelming demand, because organic is great, but then what's the next part of this? Is requires more visibility, more consistency, and really to go from getting your sales and getting cold traffic to buy from you. And if you can get your message to work with cold buyers, it can sell to anyone. And that really is when you have mastered demand. So this is what we are doing, and it's called Demand in a Day, where we are walking you through exactly how to install demand in your business, and we're doing it in a super sped up timeline. So Demand in a Day, your messaging first system for daily demand and premium buyer conversions done in one day. So what you're going to walk away with is a fully mapped out messaging first premium buyer system ready to launch. And how are we able to do this? Number one, we've been doing this for 14 years. Number two, we have been teaching these strategies since 2021. We're always on the ground floor. We're always testing and we're always making changes. And we know how important speed is to you. So if you are like, I'm ready to do this right now, I'm ready to do this before I do my next big launch, or I'm ready to do this so I can improve my evergreen funnels, then Demand in a Day is for you. And this, I'm not going to read all this to you because it's a lot, but we are going to co-create with you in one day. So you're going to walk away with a fully mapped out demand system. This is what people literally DM us about when they tell us, oh my gosh, I want to set up ads like you. I want to create content like you. Your ads follow me all around. That's how you create demand. And that is how you start to get pre-sold buyers who are just coming in and jumping and saying yes. This is how you change the way people buy with you. So this is actually very for a very specific type of person. This really is for you if you have a funnel that is working and you know it should be working like 3 to 5 times better. We're going to work with you to install a demand engine that gets you where you want to go. And this is custom. This is done with you. This is done with you literally in one day.
And it really is for that person who is tired, who feels like they're kind of whispering in a closet about their message and really wants to stand up and say, okay, these are my perfect person. I want to shout it from the rooftop. And when I do that, I know the actions I take are going to be resulting in even more and more sales.
So if you are ready to apply to see if you qualify for demand in a day, to qualify to work with us, then the link to the application is around the video. And once you fill out the application, we will reach out to you. We'll ask you a few questions. We will see if you are a good fit. But just know, like, building demand, no matter what, is the number one most important thing you can do this year. And the faster you do it, the faster your funnels will actually work better. So if you are ready to really nail this, nail all of the messages to get those fast buyers coming in and coming in quickly, then fill out the application and we will reach out to you very soon.